George Pickens trade, just as some of you guys trickle in, traded to the Cowboys, some of the fallout, some of the reaction. What's going on, Daniel? Here's the thing is that with this fallout with the Pickens trade, Cam Hayward came out and had some comments, people. Cam came out and had some comments as far as what he thought about it. And what he thought was here's a quote from Cam Hayward. It says, I think we've got to look at the track record of trading wide receivers. I was looking at it at a stat. There have only been 3 or 4 receivers that made it past the rookie contracts with the Steelers. So it's crazy. So you had AB, you had Deontay Johnson, you had Hines Ward, and Juju for one more year after his rookie contract. For the most part, they know when to re-sign and when to trade. So we'll see what happens. Cam says we could be a better team because of it. So that's the situation. Hey, what's going on, Rob? We appreciate you. That's the deal going on with the Steelers right now is that Cam is saying, hey, maybe we know. Maybe we understand what's going on with getting rid of wide receivers. Maybe we've got this thing figured out. It's like, look at our track record. We sign the guys that are really good. We get rid of the people that aren't very good. And that's kind of how it is. Hey, what's going on, Arch Baby Doll? Sorry about the confusion. Glad you all made it over. Same to you, Rob. Thank everybody for coming over. I know there was some confusion. There was some technical difficulties. So we apologize, man. We apologize, but it is what it is. We're going to get Big G in here shortly to join us. It's just a tech. You know how technology is. When it works, it's outstanding. When it gives you problems, it causes everybody problems. So just remember to continue to hit that like button while you guys are in here. So what do y'all think about Cam's comments there? What do you believe and think about what he had to say as far as the Pittsburgh Steelers getting rid of wide receivers? Cam is saying, hey, trust the Steelers. They seem to know what they're doing. When we keep a guy and we sign him, look, AB, stuff happened towards the end. But what are your all's thoughts on what Cam had to say? I'm interested on what you guys are thinking as far as that is concerned. We're going to get Big G up onto the show here as soon as possible. So Big Pun said, hey, what's going on, Big G? How you doing, man?
What's cracking, man? Man, I can't stand technology. I just put it out on the social media. Technology is trash. I just put with a dumpster fire sign on it, man. It's trash, man. It's trash. But we're all good though, man. We're all good, man. You guys can hear me okay? Everything's good on the camera? Are we all good? I'm just checking. Check
yeah, we're all
1, 2,
good, brother.
Good. Yeah, what's
we
cracking?
Are all good.
What's cracking live chat? What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
So Big Pun says is that Big G was finishing off that jug of Thunderbird before appearing. I mean, Big Pun may have something there. He said that you finishing off that Thunderbird.
Like I'm gonna say, like my grandma used to say, Big Pun is a lie and the truth ain't any. Big Pun is a lie and the truth ain't any. No, that's not true, Big Pun. It's all good though, man. Listen, y'all, we got to get hyped and get it jumping tonight too, man, because we got good topics and good subjects, man. So I heard a little bit of what you were saying because I was watching it on my phone and all whatever else. So you're talking about the wide receiver deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers and how Cam is out there talking mess.
Yeah, basically, Cam Hayward is saying that the Steelers know what they're doing, that there's only been 4 guys that got, in recent memory, that got a contract past their rookie contract. It was AB, who was AB, Deontay Johnson, Hines Ward, and Juju. And Juju's was only for one more year.
Facts.
So what he's saying is that they might be a better football team because of it, because the Steelers seem to know when it's time to pay somebody and when it's time to get rid of somebody. So I'm kind of there, Big G. I'm kind of with it. It's like they seem to know. Now, don't get me wrong. We may have made the bad decisions on drafting some guys, but my philosophy. It's like, okay, you draft a guy, you make a mistake. Don't live in the mistake. Get out of it. And it seems like the Steelers know when to get out of it.
So listen, I'm a histrionato when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers and how they mess up certain position rooms. You can go back further with Santonio Holmes, Plexico Burris, Lyman Swede. We can run down the room as far as when Steeler receivers leave, right? And so it's from a historical standpoint, you can circle the wagons on one guy, and that's Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is the connecting dots to these guys, right? Now, B, this is just in my opinion. We've had players that have left Pittsburgh and did well, but we've had other ones that went and crashed out. So I'm saying is it from a player personnel evaluation standpoint? Is it the coach doesn't really know what he's doing? Or do we know these guys have these issues coming into the room and Tomlin feels like he's a superhero with a Superman cape and he can save anybody? Because we just got another crash out in Rock Sanders. Rock Sanders, if you watch the videotape of him, he has immense talent.
Me, Rock Taylor.
Out. Yeah, Rock Taylor. He's a crash out. He's a crash out off the field. He's got issues and incidents. On the field, he's got issues and incidents. But you put the tape on, that's our type of player. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't want to blame anybody because have those players done well for us when they played? AB, of course. Maybe not George GP, but who played quarterback for him? But those rest of the guys, Juju had Big Ben. He put up numbers. So I don't know because I think people are trying to piece it together and make a determination. The decision is it one guy's issue, and I don't know because you can't control what other people do. You don't know what a person will do once you invite him into your room. But we sure have a history, B, about dudes just crashing out and you got to go. Chase Claypool, Juju. I mean, the list goes on, bro, about what we seem to draft, undraft, pick up, and put in our room. And I don't know if there's a common denominator. Is it Mike Tomlin? I guess that's the question I'm asking you, bro.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like, first of all, people in the chat are misconstruing it. All Cam is talking about is the wide receiver room. He didn't say anything else about any other position. He's saying that the Steelers know what they're doing when it comes to the wide receiver room. So, Mark, I know you're trying to make it about something else. It isn't about something else. He's literally talking about the wide receivers, and that's it. So let's keep it there. We don't need to move the goalpost all over the place.
Facts.
But having said that, I mean, when wide receivers leave, what wide receiver did well? Other than Plexico Burris, when a wide receiver gets traded or leaves Pittsburgh, who did well? Like AB didn't do well. I mean, you could say, well, AB won a Super Bowl. They were going to win a Super Bowl whether Antonio Brown was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or not, man. He was, first of all, he was hurt the entire playoffs until the Super Bowl. And me and you could have been playing wide receiver for Tampa Bay that day. The Chiefs couldn't do anything. So
three catches, 27 yards, bro. 3 catches, 27 yards. 3 catches,
that's what I'm saying. It's not like he lit it up or anything like that. So let's talk about it. They seem to know what they're doing. And if it's Mike Tomlin, okay, well, this is kind of the thing. You know, people blame Mike Tomlin when somebody sneezes, they blame Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to give Mike Tomlin some credit because say, okay, look, maybe I'm the reason that these guys are crashing out, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But when it's time to get rid of them, we get rid of them. And you could say, look at Juju. Juju hasn't done well. Juju had his best year, his rookie year, when he played next to Antonio Brown. When Antonio Brown left, Juju couldn't do anything with the Steelers. I think the most yards he had were like 500 yards. So no, Juju hasn't done this spectacular. He hadn't had this great career. Oh, that's not the definition of playing well. You know, he's just been another guy. He's just been another guy. And nobody else has done anything. That includes a Super Bowl MVP in San Antonio Holmes. It's just guys are just finished. So guys are just finished. So it's just weird. But I don't know. So
I got another common denominator, and it's just me, B. All right. Everybody wants to blame Mike Tomlin as the common denominator. But you know who's the big common denominator in this? Kevin Colbert. Kevin Colbert is a huge common denominator. He drafted all of them, including GP on his way out the door. He drafted all of them, bro. So is Colbert the issue? Because B, you know how it goes down with the GM and the head coach and the owner. Heck, we seen that in this year's draft. Where they lock in on a dude, they're going to pick that dude no matter what. And certain guys have certain players that they want on the roster. So the common denominator, another one is Kevin Colbert. Now we have not seen we haven't seen Omar Khan and Andy Waddle and them draft a WR. We haven't seen that happen, right? So we can't say with the current regime from the GM that they're doing a bad job in the room. But I know that Kevin Colbert, don't get me started about what he did concerning our wide receiver room from drafting. And a lot of them was characters issues. So is it to blame Tomlin is totally not fair, and it's absolutely correct that it's not about the other positions. But Kevin Colbert sure is a common denominator, in my opinion, even more than Mike Tomlin, because the new regime hasn't drafted a WR, but Colbert drafted all of them, bro. Drafted every last one of them, B.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around. Everybody always wants to pin it on Tomlin, like it's only his fault. But if things go well, they don't want to just give him the credit. They want to spread the credit around. To me, it's never always one person's fault. And it's never just one person that should get all the credit when things go well. We got to be consistent with it. We have to be consistent. If we're not going to be consistent, then what is the situation? I mean, what are we doing? So what are we doing? Rob Lightfoot says, put respect on Juju's name for what? He's in the league. That don't mean he's balling. Just because you're still playing in the National Football League, that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but let's not act like Juju Smith-Schuster is out there putting up 1,000-yard seasons. He is not. He is not. He's just in the league. He's just in the league.
He's a Jag. He's a Jag. He's a Jag.
Emmanuel Sanders, I'll give you, but there's not many receivers other than Plexico and Emmanuel Sanders that have done anything. And as it was pointed out, and as I knew, the Steelers won the Super Bowl the year that Plexico left. So there's that.
Total facts.
There's that.
Total facts. Addition by subtraction. We had a better room, and it was more leadership in the room. So I blaming Tomlin, I ain't with it. But I sure will put it on Kevin Colbert. I sure will, dog. Kevin Colbert, man. And you see what's the graphics up there. I know you're going to talk about it. Look at that trash, B. Look at that trash. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Look at it, man.
Yes. That's the thing, is that was Colbert's last draft, which, Lord have mercy. Here's the thing. Calvin Austin III is the only, well, I guess DeMarvin Leal's still on the team, but he got hurt. I don't know if Leal's going to make the team this year because of that injury. We'll see what happens with him. Connor Hayward, I mean, we've talked about him. They're trying to use him as a fullback, and he's one of the worst blocking tight ends maybe in the National Football League. So there's that. That is terrible as far as the last drive. That is terrible, man, as far as what is going on. But we'll see. We'll see.
Ain't none of them dudes going to be on the roster when the 53 hit, dog.
Calvin
Austin. That's it. So out of 7 picks, one dude from 3 drafts ago is on the roster. Come on, dog. Yeah. Come on now. Come on. And you still are relevant and winning? I mean, come on. That's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. The only WR that condemned them to draft is Rome Wilson. So let's see. Let's see if Roman Wilson really is, and they got him in the 3rd. It ain't like they spent a first, because the dudes you talking about, Plexico, Burst, George Pickens might well be in the 1st because he's right at the top of the 2nd. But George Pickens, Santonio Holmes, Plexico Burris, they were all first-round picks. AB was a sleeper because he was a part of Young Money. They didn't know AB was going to hit like that. As a matter of fact, right. AB had to work his tail off because you had Mike Wallace, AB, Emmanuel Sanders, Hines Ward, all on the squad, dog. They was all on the squad, so AB had to become what he become because he wasn't going to get no tick. AB was a late-round draft pick for the Steelers. He's like a 3rd or 4th round, somewhere deep in the draft. So we didn't know AB was going to be AB, but we sure found out he was a crash out. So yeah, man. They trying to blame it, and I just want to put it in people's face, B. Look at that draft. That's ridiculous. That is dog, how are we winning 10 and 11 games with that, bro? You tell me how we winning 10 and 11 games. And I know I sounded like I'm crashing out, but it's just the God's honest truth. Look at it. It's ridiculous. That is
I mean,
ridiculous, bro.
that's a bad draft, but he also picked T.J. Watt. He traded for Mika Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Colbert did some good things too, but towards the end of his tenure, you're right, he was bad, and this was his last draft. He was bad, but again, the good with the bad, it can't all be bad because the Steelers had some good draft picks. He drafted some Hall of Famers. Pouncey, Watt, Hayward. He traded for Mika. He's done a good job. It wasn't all bad. Everything wasn't bad that he did. But this draft, this last one, was pathetic. It was pathetic. There's no ifs, ands, or but. We can't even debate that. But getting back to the wide receivers, you look at the departures that the Steelers have had. Antonio Brown, I don't know. I guess he could go to the Hall of Fame, Big G, but I don't think. You know how they do it these days. They take everything off the field. And the last thing that we saw from Antonio Brown, he literally quit on his football team and he ran off the field. If it was only about what happened, between the lines, Antonio Brown is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But they don't do it like that anymore. They don't do those things anymore. They take everything into consideration. So that's why they made Terrell Owens wait before he got into the Hall of Fame. Chase Claypool, another guy that left, that we fleeced the Chicago Bears into giving a second-round pick. That was incredible.
Big fleece.
Big fleece. That was Omar Khan's doing. Juju, look, he did nothing but TikTok stuff. He had to stop doing that. He basically lost his role. He walked in free agency. And again, Juju's still in the league, but Juju is not, like I said, the best year he had was his rookie year playing next to Antonio Brown. That was the best year that he has had, and it's going to be the best year that he's ever had in the National Football League. Deontay Johnson, he had a good couple years, but crashed out. I'm surprised he got another chance because Deontay Johnson didn't quit on one team, Big G. He quit on two teams last year.
Facts.
Just literally quit on them.
Facts.
And he got another chance. And then George Pickens, like incredible talent, but the off the field stuff, apparently it was the teams. We got a member. Mr. Nightmare is a Hall of Fame member, man. Thank you, Mr. Nightmare. We appreciate you signing up and supporting the channel and becoming a member, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, B.
I don't know. With the Steelers wide receivers, look, at one point, that's everybody talked about. That's what the Steelers did well, was draft wide receivers. So, and then, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that George Pickens was a bad pick, though, G. I can't say that Pickens was a bad pick. I know he's not on the team anymore, but the talent that he had, he wasn't a bad football player, but it's more than that. It's more than that, though. It's got to be more than that. So,
B, how long have I been telling you?
How you doing?
How long I've been telling you about production over potential? Yeah. Me and you done had conversations away from all of this, talking backstage and all whatever else. Production over potential. GP had all the potential in the world, but you know what GP gonna do? GP's gonna crash out in Dallas, bro. Now, it's not a matter of if he does, it's when he does. The crash out is on deck, bro. He's not going to do it because, and like you said, then now we go back to, if you want to start talking about Coach Tomlin. Coach Tomlin knows when to dump them dudes because he knows he can't control them anymore. And I'm just going to say it. If Mike Tomlin can't tolerate you no more, you got a whole lot of hell in you, bro. You got a whole lot of locker room disturbance, a whole lot of hell, a whole lot of causing problems, a whole lot of just messing stuff up. You got a whole lot in you because Mike Tomlin will let you get away with Mike Tomlin be crashing out. Mike Tomlin puts on black Air Force Ones and be in the locker room. We get your trap in your trap. He does stuff like that. So when they went to Baltimore, he crashes out with those guys. So if Mike Tomlin says, man, enough is enough, enough's enough, bro. And it's not a matter of you think that rookie coach down there, Schottenheimer, is going to be able to control GP? Hell no. Hell no, he's not going to be able to control. GP going to cut up. And I've heard Cowboys people say, oh, well, we have a captain's corner now with Micah Parsons crash out, Dak Prescott loser. You know, they're going to make a difference. They're going to make it. Hell no, they ain't going to make no difference. GP going to crash out, bro. He's a wire just like CeeDee Lamb, but he's got a little bit more things loose in the cabeza. That's the deal going on with him, bro. It's the truth. Hell no, they ain't going to be able to control him, man. Crash out on deck. Watch what I tell you. And then all the people in the chat that's talking crazy to me, y'all gonna come back and say you G Stradamus. Because that's who he is. When they show you who they are and they tell you who they are, believe them. Stop trying to make a dog a cat. He's a crash out. And Tomlin said, adios, muchachos, dog. So yeah, I understand it, bro. I understand it.
I mean, I get all of that. I mean, Tomlin's got to take some responsibility for it too. The thing about it is that they keep taking these guys, you know, and that's my thing. Is like, look, why do you keep drafting these guys? Because look, Pickens was a top 10 talent, but he fell to the second round. Hell, he probably would have fallen to the third round if the Steelers didn't draft him. You got to stop taking these guys and taking the chances on these guys. That's the issue. Stop doing that. I mean, it's pretty simple, you know, and if you stop doing that, then you don't have to worry about, oh, well, he wouldn't grow up. He wouldn't act right and all this kind. Just stop taking chances on that, you know, and if you stop taking chances on it, teams are they're really pushing back on it. We've discussed it the last couple of days. Teams are pushing back on the knucklehead wide receivers. They're pushing back. So the Steelers might as well do the same thing. Start pushing back and then just say, hey, you're either going to act right or you're not. And if you don't want to, that's fine. You just can't be on our football team. You know, and I think that's a thing in the National Football League. We talked about it the other day. You look at the top 10 wide receivers. Hell, you could go the top 15 wide receivers in the National Football League. How many other than Tyreek Hill, how many of them are knuckleheads? You don't have very many of them, G. I don't know of any in the top 15 minus Tyreek Hill. So teams are pushing back on that. Teams are pushing back on it. So part of this is Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan. Stop drafting the guys. But then at the same time, hey, just if they're here, you got to make them do right. Like George Pickens constantly showing up to team meetings, team planes, team buses. You know, there's only so much money, I guess, in the Players Association, the NFLPA, that you can fine a guy, and he was just been willing to just pay the fine. But the bottom line is, we just have to stop doing it if this is what we want, and it seems like this is what we want, and this is where the NFL is moving. Don't be behind the 8 ball with this, G. Get out in front of it. Get out.
I agree. And see, in this last thing, I'm gonna leave it alone after this, right? But the truth of the matter is, if it was really Tomlin, we would see crash outs in every position room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't have no other crash outs. There's not no crash out in the running back room. There ain't no crash out in the offensive line. There ain't no crash out in the defensive line, DBs, linebackers. Where? To show me who? There's nobody else that there's evidence for that. So it's one particular area and one particular position. It's the wide receivers. And like you said, we're going to push back and not allow those type of guys in our locker room no more. And I get it. Now, Rock Sanders might be the last Mohican. He might be the last of his kind because he got crash out potential all over him. But
you mean Rock Taylor?
Yeah, Rock. I keep saying the wrong guy. Rock Taylor. He's the last guy of his kind, maybe, if he makes the squad. But after that, bro, it ain't gonna be no more. You're gonna see the guys like Antoine Randall, Hines Ward, high character dudes, bro. You're gonna see high character guys that were captains, guys that played significant roles on their teams. That's the new wave, and that's why about Roman Wilson. That's where I'm at with him. If he's healthy, do whatever you got to do to get that kid on the field because he was a captain at Michigan. They won the chip. He was significant about them winning the chip. Get him on the field. So yeah, no more. And it's just that room. It's just that room, B. That's it.
Yeah, my man Lawrence, he says that we need a veteran wide receiver to groom the youngsters and show them professionalism. I think that's what Robert Woods is.
Facts.
You know, I think that's what Robert Woods is. The difference is, do we have young wide receivers anymore? Because Calvin Austin's not a problem. Roman Wilson doesn't appear to be a problem. I guess you could say DK might be. He's been a little bit, but not he's not showing up late to meetings and buses. He's not doing that. It's, hey, just throw me the football. I can live with that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.